we need to talk about the two biggest political streamers on Twitch, known as Hasan and Zach Rar. Now these two channels on opposite ends of the political spectrum, or are they? Hasan is known as being a progressive left, and Asmon being a center-right. As a whole, I would actually consider Asmon a centrist or even center-left at times. But the problem is, the Liberal Party these days is so far left that the centrists look right. Is this what is contributing to the rise of Asmongold? And what is contributing to the fall or even stagnation of Hasan Piker? Hasan has been going back and forth with how he's being portrayed in the media and hoping that everyone gives him some positive PR.
It's really well with the NPR piece from the other day. They're both something you can point to normie libs if they have questions about Hasan, the terrorist supporting guy. Exactly.
We've seen some articles written about him, basically fluffing his ego and saying he's such a progressive figure.
Liberals,
but between the lines, there's a dark side to what Hasan preaches to his audience.
Guts.
Because Asmongold has taken the reins on political streaming, Hasan has been trying really hard to get into the spotlight. Asmon has even beat out iShowSpeed and Kai Cenat when it comes to streaming hours watched. On top of that, he was one of the most searched times on YouTube this year and sat at spot number 8. But Hasan didn't make any of these milestones, and you have to ask yourself why. You're starting to realize I have to do something about my public image so more people will like me. Ultimately, this video will show exactly why Zach is dominating Twitch in 2025. Firstly, there's something Asmongold is not telling anyone. He has a secret promotion company that gives him access to tens of thousands of viewers each day. This company is called Hasanabi Productions. Don't take my word for it, take Hasan's words for it.
Asmongold and I. Asmongold. I think Asmongold is covering this. Asmongold. That Asmongold has always been a larger content creator than me. Asmongold. Stop! Asmongold. The largest political streamer now. He's double my size. Asmongold. Once again, talking about Asmongold. No, you brought it up.
And then Asmongold became the largest political content creator on the platform.
Asmongold. And I'm not talking about Asmongold. Asmongold. Asmongold, one of the top content creators on the platform. Stop crying!
Hopefully one day we'll see the largest political commentator Asmongold out here.
Asmongold. A lot of people constantly say, Hasan, you're so jealous that Asmongold is the top content creator. Asmongold. Perhaps I could be just like fucking Asmongold. Asmongold. Why are you watching Asmongold every time I click on? You look obsessed.
As you can see, there's a little bit of jealousy when it comes to Asmon being the #1 political streamer. It's come to a point where Hasan will mention Asmon during his most private moments with people.
Or if I was in for the grift, I would probably do like whatever Asmongold is doing.
Asmon usually only mentions Hasan to defend himself.
Hasan watches my YouTube channel more than I do. He does. The first time that I saw my YouTube analytics was when he pulled it up the other day to complain about me.
Speaking of people that mention Hasan, there are other creators that make content on Hasan daily that keeps his negative actions in public view. The fact that Nuxtaku, More Pegasus, Tectone, and many other content creators can do daily content on crazy things that Hasan says is incredible. It's pretty much every single stream at this point. These creators bring awareness to the internet with his antics and bad behavior. This exposes Hasan's craziest views to millions of viewers. Asmon, on the other hand, really only has Hasan that creates the most content on him. You could argue the surf times, but they literally don't get any views. I know, I shouldn't be one to talk, but I can at least make the excuse that I'm a new content creator, so make sure you like and subscribe. The political space has been riddled with violence, and I want Hasan to make sure he understands how close we are to a tipping point. There's Donald Trump, the tragic death of Charlie Kirk, And then there's Pelosi's husband and the tragic deaths of House Speaker Melissa Hortman and her husband. The reason why I stress this is because Hasan has a history when it comes to promoting political violence. He said some things in the past that has brought a lot of backlash to him, such as the death of Rick Scott.
Fraud or Medicaid fraud, you would kill Rick Scott. Okay?
He declined being a valid military target.
Every type of armed resistance against both the settlers and also the Israeli occupying force in the West Bank. Doesn't matter if it's your favorite podcasters like Wife that participate in these raids. The violence that the Palestinians engage in an act of resistance against this illegal occupying force is literally legal, definitionally legal.
Attack on Nick Fuentes.
You know, the moment is clear. You got to sick like the ACP guys on him. Okay, that's it. You got to get one of those like Haz al-Dink type motherfuckers to just like eat his ass alive, you know? Let him fight.
Schematics for a gun to be used on Tim Cotton.
For somebody to blame Hasan is unfair, but for somebody to say that Hasan has not been a radicalizing force in causing these people to be more extreme, I think you're being delusional.
In these times, it's important to be a voice that is condemning political violence, no matter what happens. You should never say something like this.
Left-wingers, liberals, you need to be fucking showing your opponent's guts on there, okay? You need to be gutting them. You need to be shanking these motherfuckers and letting their intestines just ride on stage. What the fuck is this
Maybe
shit,
it's better
man?
for Hasan to be constantly talking about Asmongold. At least he won't be saying other crazy things.
I have to see this. I have to see it. I want to watch it. This is content. Okay, we might have something here. Let's get it.
I wonder what Asmongold is doing, because he's been like a third-party beacon on this Asmongold, whatever Asmongold is doing. There's never been a moment where I turn around and say Asmongold is saying this or that. Asmongold, and Asmongold. Liberals who now tune into him to think, well, he's at least better than Hasan. He's not dangerous radical like Hasan is. Of course, Asmongold is more visible. Asmongold popping off. Asmongold, that's the Asmongold phenomena.
I just got triggered.
Seems like Hasan likes to play the blame game whenever there's a tragic event.
Charlie Kirk's situation, he has played a formative role in his own demise.
For example, after a Minnesota Catholic school shooting that took the lives of innocent children, Hasan Piker and Asmongold took to social media to express their beliefs. Looking at both of these posts, tell me who is the reasonable one here. I know a lot of people want to say it's this side's fault, it's that side's fault, but when it comes down to it, just condemn it and say, I don't believe this is the way for us to move forward. Hasan's dangerous behavior is starting to fall through the cracks. After Hasan spent a couple days in Michigan, one of his followers that he was seen with was arrested a few days after for making terroristic threats. I'm not saying Hasan's at fault, but you have to question the kind of people that Hasan is appealing to. When you're constantly on the edge of violence, your audience will act as an extension to go over the line. You should never dox people on stream, brandish a gun in your stream. It's showing people that this sort of behavior is acceptable. In another instance, I was disgusted at how Hasan handled the death of the Israeli embassy couple. The way that Hasan brought it to his audience did not sit right with me.
Every single thing that he did in the aftermath of the shooting is so fucking crazy that it's like, you could not have fucking designed a incident like this. You could not have designed a better false flag incident like this. I'm not saying it is a false flag incident at all. I'm not saying that. I think this is just a one dude who is genuine in his actions and maybe, you know, a little bit brain broken.
There was no remorse, no condemnation of the incident, just stating that this would be a perfect false flag if he saw one. And his chat spammed hearts while he sat there doing nothing. This looks to be the kind of audience that Hasan attracts. They appear to have no sympathy, no regard for human life because the tragedy happened to someone they happen to disagree with. This is why I think it's especially important Hasan watches what he says.
Shut up! Go back to Auschwitz!
One common trend we've seen from commentators and politicians is the normalization of the word
fascist,
racist,
Nazis,
a neo-Nazi.
Trump is a fascist.
Yes, I do.
Fascist.
They decided to compare us to literal Nazis for gathering in Madison Square Garden.
Readers and politicians are using these words to dehumanize the opposition, to put distance between them. As a result, people see them as an evil entity and believe they are no longer able to engage them in meaningful conversation. As the late Charlie Kirk would say, when you can't have a conversation, you have violence as a result. These words have become commonplace in Hasan's language.
Like, the word Nazi has no fucking power anymore, and I know people will say, oh, it's because you called everything Nazi. This guy is a fucking straight up Holocaust denying neo-Nazi, right? Like, he's just straight up.
He's even done the same trick to Asmongold, trying to coin him as Nazi Gold.
Yeah. Remember, Nazi Gold is not a Nazi. Elon unbanned a white supremacist. Yeah. You call everyone a Nazi.
These creators are opposed to Israel, which has been in direct conflict with Palestine.
Doesn't matter if rapes happen on October 7. Like, that doesn't change the dynamic for me even this much.
I think most people do support Palestine, but where Hasan loses the majority of people is his sympathy for terror groups.
Called the...
Hasan has been known to directly show terrorist propaganda on streams.
Just so you know, these fucking musically gifted individuals.
Yeah.
And to put icing on the cake, he has said things like,
Hezbollah is a paramilitary organization. I don't have an issue with them, let's just say. But they are a terrorist organization.
America deserved 9/11, dude. Fuck it. My favorite flag. Yeah. Hezbollah. Look it up. Oh. I'm not even kidding. It's actually a dope flag.
It's common sense to be against organizations deemed as terrorists by the United States. Asmon has been vocal about being thankful to America for keeping actual terrorists out.
When you say that you support the actions of a terrorist organization and you interview them on your stream and then you play their propaganda, you end up getting detained for extra questioning, re-entering the country. And I think that Hasan and everybody else, including myself, let's all sit together and say a collective thank you to the government for keeping us safe.
This is why it doesn't matter how much publicity Hasan gets from these magazines. No one reads them. Anyone that reads them won't watch his YouTube or Twitch content. The majority of people know Hasan for his bad behavior they see online. Do you really think the 20, 30, and 40-year-olds are reading GQ and Rolling Stones? When have these ever been relevant? Hasan can't catch up to Asmongold because the things that Hasan says are there forever, and the clips will always be brought up again and again. Lately, Hasan's starting to feel the heat with his past words. One of his faults, though, is not apologizing for these events. The Hasan Piker I know is
10 toes fucking down. They are on the morally right side.
Everything Hasan does seemingly is to double, triple, and 10 toes down on. This is where he loses a lot of people, because there are more and more clips that showcase this behavior.
Thank you, I love you so much.
Oh no.
Hasan tries to be a positive force for Palestine, but no one can take him seriously because he's too extreme. Not only can Hasan be extreme, but he can be extremely hypocritical. If he truly supports Palestine, why is he not boycotting Twitch? Amazon owns Twitch and is on the list of organizations you should be boycotting, according to the BDS. Some of these virtue-signaling streamers sell their body to a site that supports those who they are directly up against. Can you be a socialist that lives in a $3 million mansion, buy high-end luxury items, and sell merch? This all sounds to me like capitalism. Probably one of the best capitalists cosplaying as a socialist. If you want to be a voice of reason, you gotta stop being inconsistent. You have to be able to call things out for what it is, even if it might involve your friends. Speaking of Hasan's friends, they really aren't doing him any favors right now. I'm not talking about Hasan's in real life friends because there's a lot of allegations about them that haven't been resolved. I'm talking about other content creators that Hasan collabs with or support. The internet has been labeling these people as orbiters.
You serious?
Everyone in this iDubbbz video is dragging Hasan down. iDubbbz himself has taken a big L with this creator clash being cancelled. The Ethan Klein lawsuit has made a major drag on their reputation and on Hasan's. And if Ethan Klein wins, it's going to be a dramatic hit to his reputation.
Settle with them quick. It will save you so much time, money, and public embarrassment. Because otherwise, you're going to have law tubers like myself and all of the people on the internet covering this for the next years.
Whether Hasan likes it or not, he is now associated with them. Anything they say is going to come back to Hasan because he's the main face of this group and doesn't condemn their actions.
I will never have any pity for any soldiers. U.S. military? Who who? I hope you get PTSD.
Not to mention people Hasan follows on Twitter like this Gatuga, who got exposed and likely will be sued by Ethan as well.
So Hasan retweeted somebody who said that I was a mom-murdering cockroach farmer. The operator behind this account is a 37-year-old single male who is currently unemployed, living with his parents. Named D. You don't need to know his name. He just needs to know that I do.
Same thing goes for his past mods, and I think a lot of people are starting to see this. But to contrast with Asmongold, he doesn't do any collabs anymore. He stopped doing Steak and Eggs podcasts, he stopped being the forefront of OTK, he's just by himself now, and he understands that people don't want to collab with him.
I pretty much stopped collabing with people. I did. I stopped collabing with everybody. I stopped going to events. I stopped being involved in things.
Hasan has to step back from all this drama and just focus on his channel. Not only that though, he has to resolve the infighting between the leftist creators. If you didn't know, there's a lot of beef within the leftist party. It's actually pretty insane. Hasan talks about Asmongold a lot, we've already established that. But he also talks about Destiny and Ethan Klein a whole lot as well. The problem is that the fighting within the left party causes audiences to divide and choose sides.
I will never unite with Destiny. The best thing he can do is basically stop attacking me and privately live out the rest of his days in shame. Do you understand?
They're literally splitting the audiences into multiple different segments. And I know it's difficult because they all have personal issues with Hasan, but he would do himself a big favor if he was able to resolve these and start to move on. Speaking about favors, Twitch is also not doing Hasan any favors by doing Hasan favors. Twitch is mainly known as a left-leaning organization, or at least is led by a lot of left-leaning members.
It's obvious that Twitch has two different forms of punishment, right? They have two different forms of I guess justice, right? Because there are a lot of I would say leftist or left-leaning political commentators that say things that are insane. I do think though that there is a very clear pattern of behavior where Twitch streamers that embody certain political values are not being punished at the same ratio that an average person would be punished, or people that are of the opposite spectrum.
A lot of things that Hasan gets away with, other streamers do not. Many people naturally want to defy the system and stand up against the oppressor. In a sense, the preferential treatment that Twitch gives Hasan causes people to rise up against him. Some recent examples in 2025 include
Kill Rick Scott, okay?
Hasan doxed a viewer, which is directly against Twitch's terms of service, and also brandish a gun in stream, which I believed was a form of intimidation. You think that's bad? Hasan has doxed multiple content creators, exposing their addresses with no repercussions from Twitch. Because Twitch isn't enforcing their policy, they're starting to find out. The most important factor contributing to Asmon's rise is that America as a whole is starting to wake up. Many people who have been apolitical are now casting their votes. People are tired of being bullied by Karens, told who should be allowed in their bathrooms, told men can get pregnant, told what they need to put in their bodies. People are tired of seeing the communities destroyed by riots, women getting murdered by repeat criminals, and public figures being assassinated for their freedom of speech. We've seen what happens to a country that doesn't wake up to this nonsense. The signs have been there all along. I'm not sure what Asmon's career will look like in 2028, but I will tell you this. The world may have gone woke, but you have now forced us awake.